Hello everyone and welcome to LSI F1 World Championship. No, it's not. Hello everyone and welcome to LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. The Imola Grand Prix, if you prefer to call it that. The alternative Italian Grand Prix. We are a little way into qualifying, unfortunately. I do apologise. We just had a couple of technical difficulties that we've had to sort through. So, luckily, that is all good to go now, and we are in qualifying with 10 minutes remaining on the clock. Bassoon is in P1 at the moment, although they have said that they've got some technical issues, so they might be in a bit of trouble later on. What they have to do, though, is be at the top of the times on the lead of the race for as long as they possibly can to try and avoid any kind of issues. Missing a couple drivers, Mizzy is not here, as we saw their pace was very, very good back in Japan, but unfortunately we won't be able to see a comeback. Cohen said he's confident around here. Let's see what he can do a little bit later on into the session as he starts another lap. Zingy, strategy, what's it going to be around this circuit? And because it's such a difficult circuit to overtake at, would you rather starting on the mediums or the hards?
Well, preferably, I'd like to start on the hards, get a bit of an undercut. I wouldn't mind having 2 or 3 lap older mediums, if that means I am in front. It's very difficult to overtake here, as we've seen with myself and Luke. Honestly, I can overtake the guy, and you'll see throughout this race that people that have lower downforce cells may actually favour this race rather than having a mix of both, because if you've got low downforce, you can overtake on the straight, and honestly, the corners don't. Well, they require downforce, right? But it's not too much, especially into corners like Tosa, the hairpin. You're not going to really do much turning, are you? It's just a slow corner, and downforce doesn't really activate itself. So you might actually be worth going for a low downforce setup. And I'm looking at a certain JJ here to maybe do well.
Yeah, for sure. It can work, especially in the final sector. There's a few straights and then really low speed corners with the ground effect. It's quite useful. Now Cohen goes across the line to improve a 15.5. Lovely stuff. Bassoon is going to try and beat that. Familiar face on the grid. We have Sebi, who returns back as a reserve driver today. Let's see what they can do. I don't remember when the last time they raced was, but yeah, good to see them back in for this one. Will this Vale be able to jump their way up the order in qualifying a little bit? Will they be able to try and make it another win? Could they get 4 in a row possibly? We'll have to wait and see. Cohen really wants to try and get some redemption, and currently he's putting himself in the best possible position to do so. Whereas this Vale once again seems to be struggling with qualifying a little bit, although as Zingy just said earlier on, if he is running a low downforce setup, he's probably going to be in quite a good position. Bassoon has maybe stuffed up the first few corners, and they're having to go fairly slowly, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to set another lap. Everybody else has pretty much done a couple laps on their tyres, so they're not going out anytime soon. We've got Frantic on the way out of the pit lane, but yeah, Bassoon seems to be going a little bit slowly at the moment.
Yeah, Bassoon may be messing up the first few corners. It's very easy to mess up, but it's very easy to get a lot of time. I've noticed that this seems a bit counterintuitive, but when you go into the grass just before turn 1, extend it a little bit, depending on like how much bite you've got in the front, you can actually gain time from like using, well, just grass. It sounds silly, and it's legal, I'm sure it is. Illegal, yeah. So you could probably use the grass a little bit, get the car pointed in a bit earlier, and maybe gain like half a tenth, because on time trial, qualifying and Grand Prix mode it works, so why not try it? You know,
yeah.
These people are cut fine margins. I mean, it doesn't look like it at the moment, but at the end of the session we'll probably see some very close figures once again, so maybe that half a tenth could be the deciding factor, as we've seen between, was it Cohen and Bassoon that are always battling for pole, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. These two, the two Dutchmen, well, not two Dutchmen actually, Bassoon is Belgian, I do apologise. They often go at it for pole position. This is Vale usually would back in the old game, but their different style has made them look at a different kind of race strategy. Now, Bassoon making a slight mistake into the second kind of fast chicane, if you like. He's not very happy as he moves the wheel left and right a little bit. So is he going to be on an improvement lap anyway? We'll watch on board until he gets to turn 14 and 15. Of course, you get into that chicane. Just before that is the sector line. So what are they doing at the moment? Are they improving? No, 7 tenths. So really struggling in the later stages of qualifying, but they still have a lot of time to try and do something. We've got their teammate Frantic, currently sitting in P8. They've had some really bad luck recently, a couple crashes and a few DNFs as well, so they really want to get some good points. They actually were pretty much at the front of the pack. I think they're even leading for a while at Monza to open up the season, and after that it's not really looked too easy for them. So they've definitely got potential in that car. They just need to try and get through the first part of the race cleanly and then keep it on track for later on. Now, here we go though, around the final corner. Frantic across the line to set an improvement lap time, 4 minutes on the clock, and that is a P5 for now. Lovely stuff.
Yeah, Frantic at the start of the season, he said it was doing fantastically, and it kind of just fell off for him, which is really unfortunate, but maybe this could be a change of fortune, because even with that little mistake he made during his lap, he still is looking alright, P5, so he got out that mistake on his final lap, and who knows, I mean, it's going to be close for pole position. Cohen, of course, setting the early pace as he always does, but remember that gap will come down. That's just like, it's just like we're starting to see characters develop. You see Cohen, it's very good at the start of qualifying, everyone else is having to catch up, and especially during the races he can be very good. I mean, when he doesn't get a puncture, of course, which is what happened last time, remember, in the last lap of the Grand Prix, which gave this his veil to win. However, he's in 8th at the moment, so he needs to really pull his finger out and do something about it. I don't think he's on a lap at the moment, unless I am mistaken. We're going to go for the sector line roundabout now, which will be a 51.4. That's 1/10 down. Coming through the chicane now. Not doing too bad. On the accelerator nice and early. Coming into the final 2 corners. These are low downforce corners, and that ground effect's really going to help you just get the car rotated through there nicely without too much issue. See the car's nice and planted out of the final corner now. And what's it going to be? Is it going to be the improvement? It looks like it. Up to the line now, it's going to be a 169, which puts him ahead of JJ, but not really too far up. I would have expected more from him.
Yeah, they were very, very conservative on the first part of the circuit. That proves that the the third sector is very, very powerful for this kind of setup, but very, very conservative through the corners, which is hard to see, because even if they have an advantage in a straight line, they might be stormed before they even are able to defend on the straight. Gilly once again retiring very early on in the session, as they just don't think that they can improve, I guess. 2 minutes on the clock, it's not going to be easy to go out again. But yeah, that's how that one's gone. The other Ferrari, Benjamin, unfortunately cannot make it today, which is not great for the reigning champion, but it is what it is. He's come back from worse, so I'm sure we'll see him a little bit later on in the season get back to it. We got Aston Martin off the track as they're going to disqualify themselves. That is Heischler. Here we go. Larlick just over the track limits, but they're going into the pit lane anyway. Have we got Pursoon going for another lap, or are they on an out lap here? I'm not quite sure.
It looks like a push lap, yeah.
Okay,
I think so. Yeah, I'll take you through the rest of this lap. That's fast left-hander. But there's not an Aston Martin in the way. It's quite easy as he loses the back end there. Coming to Aqua Minerale now. This bit's really difficult. As you see, he gets over the curb a little bit, but he manages to keep it. No, he lost the back end on exit. That curb's going to just catch your car out and fling you about the place. But yeah, that's really tricky, and he just tried to maximise the time and he couldn't. So is that the end for Pursoon, or do you reckon he get one more lap? And he will, but does he have to fuel and DRS? I don't believe he does, looking at his car. Just over 50%, so he's going to have to try really hard here, but he can give it one more shot, and you never know, he could gain that 3/10 that he needs.
Yeah, for sure. Such a shame. Even though the cars weren't in the way, maybe just got a little bit distracted, and that was that one done. He might get a second chance. Is he going to go for it again? He is just going to try something. Now we got Cohen, 15.5, 3/10, actually a little bit more than 3/10 over Pursoon ahead, and then he's got Sebi and Gilly. Gilly's not going to be improving, neither is Sebi, because he's in the pit lane. So at the moment, Curran just needs to try and secure a alright lap. I mean, yeah, ideally improve over your time, otherwise there's not much point. But he's just relaxing here. I think he must have made a mistake earlier on in the lap and he's not really pushing too much. He got frantic on 2-lap-old tyres. I don't think they're going to be improving anytime soon. We've got both JJ and Robbo who haven't set lap times yet. Unfortunately, that's frantic out of qualifying. So another crash and they will not be able to improve, although those old tyres would have been very difficult to improve on anyway, as we do have Robbo into the final hairpin. Cohen is going for another lap. JJ is right behind Robbo here, so we're going to see what these guys can do. Robbo hasn't set a lap time yet. This is their only choice or only chance at getting something in and around Emilia. You need to get something done, so they have to be pretty conservative. If they can do something special, then go for it, but it's going to be very, very difficult to do so. That is Cohen retiring early from the session, and Robbo as the final sector to go. What lap time are they going to get? We'll have to wait and see. Into the final few corners now. Turn 17, then 18, then you've got the slight kink of 19, and yes, it's a kink corner, nothing else. Don't make it weird. Now, here we go. DRS available. Robbo across the line, and that'll be a P4. Not too bad for a one-lap attempt. Then we've got JJ. Oh, he's jumped himself up a bit as well, just behind Robbo. Maybe? No, it's P4. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Great job. Nice way to end the session. Lovely and exciting. That is Cohen on pole position, Pursoon in P2, and Sebi in P3 on return as a reserve driver. This is the race director just in case, and then we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? We're finally away, and Cohen gets away phenomenally. Absolutely incredible. Sebi gonna jump into P2. Pursoon can't find a way through. That's someone off in the background. That's a Red Bull. Here we go. Sebi to the inside. Is that VSC? Everyone going very, very slowly. So immediately, all the chaos has calmed down a little bit. Cohen secures that P1, but Pursoon dropping down once again. Race starts. Just not what they're strong at, and they need to try and get on top of that.
Yeah, what happened at the start was, I don't know if Larlock got attacked or he just spun, but off the line he just went right into the wall, lost his front wing, as you can see there. Can't finish the chicane. He's got no downforce. And unluckily for him, it's a VSC, so he can't even get back to the pits probably. So Larlock's going to be miles behind in this race, so he's going to have to hope for a safety car or just some good pace to propel him back up the order. Yeah,
32 laps of this race though, they do still have a chance to get back into this. You can see the little strategy on the screen right now, medium hard. Probably going to be maybe a little bit different. We'll put the data up on the screen while we're waiting for the VSC to restart. and then we'll be good to go once again in Imola. Here we go now. Sebi getting a pretty good restart, sitting right behind Pursoon as well as that. He's actually on the medium tyres, Sebi, so he's going to be on a decent pace level at the moment, and he's probably going to be quite aggressive to try and push for a move. Might get an overtake done here early on into this race. Not right now because it's just the restart, or unless he's pushing, but he's not. He has a quick look to the inside to spot his braking point. Someone behind, very, very close. No, Robbo, JJ, they split each other, or they switch positions, I should say, and this is Vale just about staying on track. That was so close. Gilly on the inside line as he makes that move. We've got Rillaton who also wants to have a look, but they can't. This is Vale was in a very, very tricky situation. That's contact with the back of Nipojan. I don't know who was behind them. Was that Geordie or was that Heisler? Anyway, there's contact, and that has caused a little bit of a commotion there. The race leaders are breaking away slightly now.
Yeah, Geordie's not too happy with that one. He got squeezed off into Toza, and it really affected Nithway. You know, he spun the car, but he managed to keep it on track, but losing the position, of course, so he's not going to be too happy about that one.
Yeah, now Sebi is looking very, very close to the back of Cohen. They do seem to be wanting to make a move sooner rather than later. I thought they were already going to go for one not too long ago. Now, this is their first real chance. They are going to try and attack. We got a yellow for Larlick. More issues, unfortunately, for them. Now, Sebi sat right behind at the moment. Not going to be close enough. Going to wait for that DRS to get there. Is anybody making overtakes? We do have a side-by-side moment with Frantic and JJ, but JJ's too quick in a straight line, and that is the Williams staying ahead. Frantic's going to have to find another way through here.
Yeah, Frantic struggling to get through there as he almost loses the car once again. So JJ proving that he can fight near the front, just keeping the car nice and steady. I hope I don't jinx on there as Frantic goes off a bit wide. Maybe going to feel the pressure of this as Vale, who's also on the medium tyre. So we're going to see the difference here. It's going to be a lot, but will they be able to overtake on the straight with Frantic having JJ's DRS? I don't think so. As JJ's actually pulling away in the corners, this is a revelation. As we see the Red Bull going wide, and nothing too much happening at the moment as you see Gilly actually losing the car and Rotorn. Is he going to go for the move into the chicane? No, he's not. He's going to keep behind for now. Is that JJ lagging back a bit, and Frantic's now inside of him, so that's not very optimal. And coming into the final few corners now, he's going to be under all sorts of pressure. But remember, that straight line speed is absolutely insane from JJ. Frantic goes wide onto the gravel though, and that's going to allow this is Vale to get the move done with the ERS. Frantic has not much left to defend with. Vale's going to go down the inside, and that's going to be him up into. Whoa! JJ's lagging like mental. What's going on there? JJ is dropped into P11, and now Gilly's going to be putting the pressure on Frantic into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? Gilly, Frantic to leave each other just enough room, but Frantic defends the position, and the Roadhorn's going to be all over the back of not Heisler, Gilly.
Can't get through right now, and obviously as a higher tier driver you're going to be so careful, but it's getting very, very technical. But that's a big off, and that is unfortunately Ruleton, and it looks like Geordie as well is unfortunately out, and that is a safety car. So what happened there? They were just side by side. They got a little bit tangled up, and that is them two in the wall, I guess. I
think Roadhorn just lost the back end, and then he got collected. So.
Oh right.
So kind of like what happened yesterday. So it's unfortunate, but what can you do sometimes?
Yeah, that is a heck of a shame. This time, Geordie is still in this one. Rillaton, unfortunately, that is their day over. Larlick, he'll be able to catch up now, so that's great news for him. He'll still score points anyway, because obviously he's got 3 higher tier drives in front of him. But yeah, that was an interesting one. Rillaton says he thinks that he bottomed out, so that would explain what happens there. Cohen stays out. Sebi, interestingly, stays out. Fair enough. I mean, I guess he didn't really have too much of a choice, or could he make it to the end? Maybe, I don't know. Robbo, however, is going for a different kind of strategy here.
I mean, what did you expect? Honestly, this man is the king of different strategies, and he's won races because of it. He's won races, he got podiums, and this is a chance to prove that he's goated, because this pit lane, fun fact was thingy, this pit lane is about 28 seconds long, and he's eradicating that hard tyre like heat-up phase. So he's just got a free pit stop, 31 seconds. Those hard tyres, after about 17, 18 laps, were a bit worn out. That's like 50%. Robbo under safety. I don't know how long he's going to have left. I'm not really good at maths. I'm going to say 24 laps to go. So he's going to do 24 laps in the hards to the end. Granted, there's no safety cars, so it could work out for him. He will probably be leading the race at some point. So maybe if he gets lucky with a safety car or just manages to keep the tyres in check, he could be in for a good result.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He might have to make another pit stop later on, which obviously is an idea one, with the fact that soft tyres overheat pretty quickly. It's going to be a difficult call, although we've seen Robbo on soft tyres in the past and he's been pretty good on them. JJ, hopefully they can get back into this one, but after the lag issues that they had just not too long ago, looks like maybe they have a few issues. We got a £1 offer to whoever kills JJ. Well, looks like that's happened anyway. No one needs to do it for anybody else. This is Vale into the pit lane, as that is going to be a set of hard tyres for them. Fair enough.
Yeah, Vale pitting on the second lap after safety car. He's going for soft tyres. Why is he doing that? I don't know. It's a very weird strategy. We thought Robbo was doing something weird with the hard tyre, but this is Vale. Maybe just wants to get some action, you know, some spice. That soft tyre will be rapid. It's going to get overtaken by Larlick. Coming out of the pit lane now, it's going to be a little race. He puts the foot down. Larlick's nice. He's backed off. He's not going to get the position, so this is Vale just keeping the prize of a wooden spoon, but that's about it, really.
I guess what the plan is here, maybe, he's realised, okay, we're going to have to make another pit stop anyway. I'll go for the softs, just try and get up the order a little bit. Maybe with everybody being close together, they might have some problems. And then I'll go onto the medium tyre, because I can go to another set of mediums. That's maybe what he's doing, whereas everybody else, well, they have no choice, they have to go longer and then onto that medium tyre, whereas this Valve's going to be able to get a bit of an undercut, but not so much that it will screw him up later on. So it could be an idea. It's a risky strategy, but it could be an idea. He's lost a lot of track position from it. He's actually switched positions with Yordi, but they switch again. JJ rejoins us, the safety cars, in this lap. Hopefully he can get ready to go before we go for that restart. Cohen leads the way, and we are about to go racing. Sebi on that medium tyre. A few issues behind, but we will have to focus with these guys. When will Cohen go for it? Sebi right behind. He's going to be one to watch with that medium tyres. Tyres should be able to warm up pretty quickly. Cohen's not gone for it yet as they come around the final corner. Now they've gunned it. I'm pretty sure, yes, they have. Sebi reacts fairly well. They've got both AlphaTauris immediately behind them. A lot of pressure, but everybody else is spreading out quite nicely at the moment. It's the Ferrari having a look. They're pretty quick, but no, it's not going to be enough. There's going to be no overtakes for now. Further behind, no switch-ups. But that is JJ luckily back into this race, so just about got there. Where is this as Vale? Where is this as Vale? He's going to go for a move on the inside of Robbo. That's not going to work. He's going to have to look for a switchback. He will look for the switchback. Is he going to get the switchback done? Surely, with that superior grip, he should have it on the outside line. He's gone. Side by side just in front of him with the Aston Martin and the Williams of JJ. He'll be able to catch up nicely to these guys, but he's got to pick them off in a calculated manner. Oh, this is going to be so tight as they go down the hill. Multiple cars off, and that's contact as Robbo doesn't preempt it. They do not preempt the cars ahead, and unfortunately that is damage for Robbo, and this is Vale's round.
Yeah, a bit of contact, maybe a bit of misjudgment from this as well, as he went off track and rejoined quite aggressively, to be fair, so try and make the move on JJ and then accidentally take himself and Robbo out, which is going to ruin Robbo's strategy, and now he's going to have to think of something else to do, right, because he's 8 seconds back on the car behind. Looking back now at the action, we see Nifljan, he's going to go for the move on Frantic into turn 1, he's going to go to the right hand side, and I don't think he's going to make it too hard Frantic. I think he realises that Niffle's an F1 driver, although he is using a bit of ERS into turn 1. Niffle brakes much later, it swoops around the outside. It's a good move.
Yeah, brilliant stuff for Nifo. He just wants to try and get through the grid and then get to the front and leave everybody alone. That's what he did last time around in Japan, and he dominated that race. So he's going to give it his best shot to repeat history. Gilly sat behind Frantic. They weren't able to be slung shot by Nifo, but they're going to be there soon. JJ, unfortunately, there's a bit of a break in the DRS train here, so they're going to have to try and catch up to Gilly. At the moment, Gilly in quite a nice position, however. Haish, they were off the circuit when Mrs. Vale and Robbo were having their little battle, I guess. They're back in it, and they're sitting behind JJ for now.
Yeah, I'm just noticing at the front, Sebi makes a bit of a mistake, and that's going to allow Pursuit to catch up, but Niffle's absolutely flying. He showed the pace yesterday, and yet again he carries it into today. As it's like a free car battle for P2, as Cohen's kind of stretching away 1 second. Has he dropped DRS, or did he just get it? No, Sebi didn't get DRS. Oh wait, no, it's not enabled. My apologies, Niffle sets the fastest lap. But into turn 1 now, it's going to look like Pursuna's going to go for the move around the outside. Sebi defends nicely to the inside. He closes the door on Pursuit, and that's him defending well, although he gets in the curb a little bit, so he's going to be susceptible to overtake Niffle lurking behind, but he's not going to look for the move. He's smarter than that. He's just going to wait behind for now and wait until someone makes a move, as Sebi manages to pull away a bit, so Pursuit really stuck at the moment. He can't make a move at all.
Oh, no, that's Pursuit round. I don't know if there was contact. It was pretty sudden, but I didn't hear any contact or anything. That was such a shame. I was just going to say, Pursuit's doing a great job. He needs to get through on that hard tyre, but unfortunately they're going to have to think about something a little bit different. They need to try and recover this first before they think of going for the top points. That is now Frantic getting that position. Nifo as well, of course, getting that position. And Sebi has a little bit less pressure than they had before. Gilly is right behind. Frantic has got a bit of a train going on at the moment.
Yeah, Frantic doesn't have any DRS for now. Gilly's got quite a bit of battery compared to him, so he's going to use a bit now as you see the green light flashing, which means the overtake is on. He's going to try and catch up a bit before the DRS so he can just cruise his way past, but it doesn't seem like he's done that. He's lost a bit of time out the final corner. He's going to get it back with the ERS. With the DRS enabled now, the rear line flap opens and he's going to go which way, left or right. He's forced to go to the right hand side into turn 1. It's behind. Heischler and JJ are also battling. Frantic relinquishes the position and Heischler gets past JJ simultaneously. Great battle in between the four of them.
Two switch ups and another switch up ahead as Nifojan makes that move on Sebi, trying to get everything done as quick and as smooth as possible to have as little impact on the race as well. Maybe Sebi can use Nifo to try and help him here. Lap 9 on those medium tyres, they're going to get a little bit older and they might start to get a little bit slower, but still got a fair way to go on that yellow wall for now, as we do have, of course, Gilly making that move. Now they lead the train. Let's see, is their straight line speed enough to be able to defend from DRS behind? Or is Frantic going to try and make a move back? JJ sits behind this one. He's going to be pretty quick in a straight line, so he'll want to have a look, if as long as he can hold DRS, that is, of course. Pursuit not too far behind, so if these guys slow each other down in the corners, maybe he can get back into this one.
Yeah, that's true. Pursuit has every chance of getting back into this race. Granted, these lot have a bit of a battle. All aboard the Gilly train, taking inspiration from his idol, Yarnold, truly. Both as slow as each other. No, I'm joking. I can't say that. No, I'm joking. The Gilly's a great driver, but coming into turn 1 now, here comes Heischler around the outside. Of course, he's a higher tier driver, but he makes a nice move up into P5. Now Gilly's next on his set list.
Yeah, gonna try and make that one work as soon as possible, and that would put him one step closer to a possible podium position. So yeah, brilliant move there, nice and tidy. Frantic was thinking, yeah, I'm not going to fight it. I don't want to risk anything because JJ is right there. If they do risk anything too much, then they'll lose big time. Pursuit is on his way to try and get that extra 2 tenths, and he'll be back into a battle. Not where he wants to be, because we've got 2 trains going on, but it will be at least something for sure. Robbo had made that earlier pit stop. That's why they're so far behind. They can try and get back into this a little bit later on. Would they go to the mediums to the end, Zingy, or is that just a temporary tyre for now?
No, he's going to stick on the mediums for now, and he probably will go back to another set of mediums later on. I'm sure he does have a spare set. If not, he's probably not done too many laps on them, so it's going to be double medium to the end of the race. But looking back at the lead now, Niffle is going to probably go for a move on Cone this lap. Cone doesn't really use any ERS. He realises that Niffle's got the pace, and Niffle flies by into P1, and Niffle's going to try and pull away now, like he done in the actual race in F1. So let's see his pace compared to everyone else. Looking further back though, JJ trying to look for the move on Frantic, but he can't at the moment, so he's going to have to stick by him for now. That bit of lag cost him quite a few positions, but he seems to have good pace at the moment, so maybe he can have a little comeback story and we can see JJ battling up for the podium potentially.
Yeah, it's a big shame for him. He had some bad luck as well in Japan at the very end of the race, but he can see that flashing light on the front of the, or on the back of the AlphaTauri in front of him. He does have AlphaTauri behind him though, so he's in a bit of a sandwich. There could be some communication. He could find himself in a very difficult situation. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one with the switch up from Cohen and Nifo. Cohen, you're not going to fight it as a higher tier driver. It's a different point system, and there's no point of getting Sebi back into a DRS train because he'll be able to gain a little bit later on. Is he going to be able to come back with a strategy? I don't quite know. JJ makes a mistake soon. Is he going to go for an aggressive move into the final few corners? He's not. He's going to leave it for now, okay? He's going to be a little bit more conservative, but he gets a phenomenal exit. Would this be enough for him to be able to get a move done, or is the energy not going to be enough? Because he's absolutely drained right now. JJ will make sure that he secures that. So a brilliant job from JJ. Oh, that is so close. The other AlphaTauri trying to go defensive on JJ. There's contact with the rear tyre of that Williams that he can't get through yet, but he is in a difficult situation.
Yeah, the AlphaTauri is both running out of ERS. JJ still got a lump sum of it to use, so JJ with that low downforce, he is coming into his own in this race. He might have taken a few laps, but now look at him, he's thriving at the moment. Is that Sniffle making a mistake? He's spun. Sniffle spun out of the fast left-hander. He's lost his wing as well. Oh dear. Niffle can't catch a break this season, honestly. No matter what tier he's in, he just cannot seem to get it right, unfortunately, and that's him down into P8. This is Velma tyres also.
JJ and Pursoon unfortunately making contact. Pursoon was so close to the back of JJ. Once again now losing positions. That was DNF from This Is Vale, sorry, right there. I don't know what happened. Geordie's having an issue. So that's the same place as where Nifo crashed out. So what happened to This Is Vale? Just lost the car, I guess.
Yeah, I think This Is Vale's reacting to Niffle when he didn't expect it really. I think everyone's going to come in for mediums now. And yeah, so he looked at Niffle and then he just lost the car. So it's unfortunate, but you need to be aware in these situations, and he lacked a bit of concentration there, and that's him done.
Yeah, that is the win streak unfortunately out the window. That's Larlick Robbo back into this one, Yordi as well, and Nifo being saved, getting back into this race. Frantic leads the way as he didn't make a pit stop. Of course, you've got the double stop with the two teammates, which makes it very difficult for those guys. But they could have still done a double stack. He's going to lose quite a lot of time, though, if he wants to go for a pit stop in a little bit, unless he's just going to try and stay out and have that track position. In that case, Cohen's still the net race leader, and Sebi is back into net P2. Heisler is now going to be in a very good position. Pursoon is in P6, and JJ is going to be pretty furious at Pursoon, but he does sit in P7 at the moment.
Yeah, JJ, if I were JJ, I wouldn't be too happy, if I'm honest. But you got to look at the bright side. You're all new medium tires, a fresh slate. Everything's been reset apart from Frantic, who's, well, for her sake, unfortunately, stayed out in loads of water positions. So it's going to be tricky, but you can still make something work out of this race, as we've seen. Don't give up, because now Robbo's back into the race. On the hard tires, he'll be going to the end. You'll have better tyre wear towards the end. I know they're 3 laps sold, but still, that wouldn't really matter. All the people in mediums will be flying for the first part, but we're going to just see them crashing down towards the end, which is going to be obviously tricky for them.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Sebi, he's on that hard tyre because he started on the mediums. Would you hold on to track position, or would you prefer to go for another pit stop, lose a couple positions, but be on that medium tyre?
You know what I'm going to say. Well, this track is so hard to overtake. There's one proper overtaking zone. You got to have some real nerve if you wanted to overtake somewhere else. So, I mean, I'm not doubting people have the urge to go for moves, but it's whether they can pull it off or not is going to be the more challenging part. Because yeah, it's all well and good you're sending it down the inside into a hairpin, but will you get the traction on the exit? Probably not. So, like, what would you do? I want to know what you'd do in this situation, because I'd stay out personally.
Yeah, obviously that's an appealing option, especially the further up the grid you are, it's going to be good, and the chances are maybe the cars behind will have a little battle of their own. But I think if you can really get to grips with that medium tyre, you will be able to have an advantage, and you will be able to potentially have a bit of a send on the other hard tyre runners. It would be very, very tough, but it would still be possible. So, I don't know, I'd kind of opt for that medium tyre, but then I guess also, if I was in Sebi's situation, I just kind of say, alright, I'm going to accept the situation as it is and stay out. So yeah, I'm going to stay out as well. I'll be boring. But yeah, that's what I would look at the moment. Frantic still hasn't gone into the pit lane. He's not willing to go into the pit lane anytime soon. The safety car could potentially be in on this lap as the two cars behind are catching up. They're not exactly close, so it might be either a late call in or we are just going to go round once again.
Frantic doing the absolute masterclass 0 pit stop race, keeping the track position, and I mean, it's a winning strategy, of course.
Yeah,
I'm joking, of course, because you can't. Well, okay, safety car's in this lap, right? Frantic leads the way. He won't be able to go early because the safety car is there and the limiter will be on to a certain extent, as you can see by his throttle input. Over the line they go now anyway. Frantic leads, but here comes Cohen down the inside into turn 1 on the medium tyres. He's going to make it last. He's going to go down the inside of Frantic. He needs to get this moved on ASAP. Into turn 1 now. He's already cleared AlphaTauri. He's into the lead, and now he's going to be looking to pull away. Further back, there is some more contact between Niffle and Jordi. It's not looking too well for them at the moment. Both F1 drivers colliding. Further forward, there we look. Nothing happening at the moment. Heischler maybe looking for a move on Sebi into Toza now. He goes down the inside. He's got the medium tyre. He's going to send it and he's going to make the move up into P3 for the moment. But Cohen is leading by 9/10 and is pulling away immensely.
Brilliant stuff. Frantic just can't really do anything, and they did try to go immediately for the safety car restart, which screwed them over and allowed Cohen to get a move, and that's now going to be Sebi making that move immediately as Heischler gets a big moment on the exit. Gilly's not going to be able to capitalise. We've got Pursoon right behind. Another time penalty, unfortunately, there for Lalek. Robbo is on that hard tyre. He's going to struggle for the time being, but, you know, later on he should be able to have a pretty good race. Nifo's made that move back after having a couple issues at the beginning. Now, is anybody going to have a look at a move while they're in a big slipstream train? There's no DRS, so if your setup is good enough, you can try and get a move done, but no one will have a look, although Sebi spotting his braking point, just keeping that pressure on Frantic there. So making sure the AlphaTauri doesn't get comfortable, gets a very good run, almost looking for a move, but slightly defensive goes the AlphaTauri, and he's going to maintain that position for now.
I have no idea how much Frantic's being paid here at the moment. Look at the gap, 2.5 seconds. Obviously, he's doing this for himself at the moment with those 16-lap-old hards, mind you. I'm impressed. He's used a lot of his battery, yeah, but he's still keeping the cars behind on fresh hard and medium tyre. Looking for it back now, it looks as though Pursoon tried to go for a move on Gilly, but he seemed to back out. And here comes Sebi. Is he going to go down the inside of Frantic? He loses the back end a little bit. And coming into the chicane now, it's going to be side by side. Coming into the chicane now, he mounts the curb and he gets the move done. Sebi up into P2 and can finally chase after Cohen. Let's see if Frantic gets a good enough exit. He doesn't. Well, he does for now, but Pursoon gets a better exit than Heischler into the penultimate corner. The boxing strategy by the AlphaTauris And now he's got the inside for the last corner too, but he mounts the curb and Highshore retains a move around the outside and onto the straight now. Will he use that battery to overtake Frantic into turn 1? He doesn't even need to go into turn 1. He's going to fly past him. He's got no battery left whatsoever, and I think he's going to just let his teammate go. But he will be susceptible to Gilly, who's also going to try and make his way down the inside into turn 1. He leaves just enough space, but he gets squeezed onto the curb. But Gilly can't make the move, and Frantic has done what he wanted to do and let his teammate go. And now he's probably going to hold up the rest of the pack.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. He's going to try and make a bit of a gap and then go for that pit stop. Try and go for that medium tire. But here comes Gilly to the inside. He does have a look. Is he going to be able to get him on the exit? You'd expect he would have a pretty good chance. No energy for Frantic, but still a good enough exit. And Gilly can't challenge. That is Nifo right behind. So he's waiting for to pounce if Gilly doesn't get anything done. But a bit of a gap now forming between the two AlphaTauris, which is going to make it so annoying for Gilly. Gilly now goes to the outside line, and is he going to have a look at the AlphaTauri? He will, but he'll stick his nose in, gets himself a time penalty as he's forced to cut the corner, and he will get the position back. And he's really making these guys struggle. JJ's a little bit boxed in at the moment with Nev on the outside. He looks to the inside line. Gilly is just about getting away with it. We had Nifojan going off the circuit to avoid any possible injuries, and here we go. Gilly's going to make that move. There's no DRS or energy for Frantic. Will we even get JJ and Robbo going for a move? No, we will get Robbo going for a move, however, on JJ. So he's got that one done. Very good job. Lots of switch ups, and it's very intense.
Yeah, Niffle trying to look for the move on JJ there out of turn 2. He's got the traction on the medium tyres. JJ struggling, remember, through the speed, any type of speed corner because he's on that low down full setup. But for now, these guys are all battling, and it's going to allow Pursuit and the rest of the guys to get away. As we see, Cohen leads by 5.5 seconds. And it's been 3 laps basically since the safety car's been in. So these guys are battling each other, want to get track position, but now they're just letting Cohen escape. So this is Cohen's latest to lose now, but these guys are giving us a great battle. I didn't expect to see this at the start of the race.
Yeah, Sebi holding on with that hard tyre to Heisler. He can't really seem to break it away, can the Dutchman in P2. So is that going to make it a little bit frustrating for Sebi and Pursoon as they're in stuck in the DRS? Pursoon more so. He really can't find an easy way past Sebi to get a clean run at a DRS overtake. Now Sebi, would he want to go for a move? That is Heisler very far away, not using any energy but catching up a massive amount. So he could go for something. That is Robbo going for the move, and it's almost 3 wide. Side by side once again. JJ now has to move, but no, there's contact. Both cars behind have to go pretty slow, and that's unfortunately Nifo making contact with the rear of Robbo. That is Robbo down the order. Nifo loses a few positions. JJ's back through, and that is very techy there.
Yeah, JJ tried to push Robbo into the curb a little bit. It was marginal, but JJ makes a move up into P6 now, but that's costed in Robbo, of course, spinning and Niffle making a bit of contact with him, but we'd have to review that afterwards. But for now, JJ makes the move, but he's going to be under severe pressure from Frantic. Frantic, ever since that spin, he's looking like he's got some real pace. JJ goes off the track and relinquishes both positions, as he's really struggling now. He might have some damage maybe after that contact, so maybe that's why he's struggling so much.
It would be an interesting way to get damage. They were side by side. Now that's Nifo going for the move on Frantic. No, he won't go for it anyway. He's going to back off and let them secure that. I want to quickly go to Pursoon here because there's been a bit of a gap between the two Astons. Now, it's still enough to give Sebi DRS, but Pursoon is pushing with everything they can. They've got the inside line. They're going to brake as late as they can. Sebi is going to let Pursoon go. They're all right, I'm just going to hold on for now. You know, they've got a 1.8 second gap to the cars behind. These tyres are only going to get quicker. I'll try and fight you later on. And in addition, Pursoon has hardly any ERS left because they've used it all to try and get past Sebi, but they do have a clean chance at getting Heisler here with that DRS.
Yeah, Pursoon looking very good at the moment. Both AlphaTauris looking to have good pace, but the issue is Heisler's a higher tier driver and he is very quick. However, not as quick as Cohen, who's actually 6.9 seconds as Heisler spins. I was just piping him up to tell him how good he was, but now he's just spun out of the hairpin. He spun again. He's lost the car. He's lost his head. And he's going to be down the order now. So Heisler making one mistake. And now the gap between the first and second is 8.2 seconds. Absolutely incredible as we see for the back. Robbo and Heich having a bit of a dispute. Heisler cuts the corner to avoid contact and gets a penalty. That'll probably be removed. But Robbo making his way up the order now is Frantic as his next target. But I mean, look, Frantic's struggling so much. The gap's just dropping. It's dropped down 2 free tens and 2 corners. So Frantic surely needs to pit soon, no?
Yeah, he seems to be maybe trying to pray for another safety car, just trying to hold on for as long as he can, and then I guess go for a set of softs. He's gone such a long way, it would be probably a bit of a waste to go on to a set of mediums. That's all I'm saying right now. And Robbo is going to be right there to try and catch back up. He's going to be good to go to the end with no problems. Tyre wear wise is Pursoon making a mistake, so they just had clean air to try and catch up to Cohen, but now that gap's 9 seconds and Sebi is through. And on lap 22 to 32, this could be a crucial turning point because now Sebi has got track position and his tyres are going to get quicker and quicker. Yeah,
maybe not now is a turning point. I would say it's JJ retires. What's happened there? I think it's a voluntary retirement, not the pit lane naughty. As we go back to this battle, yeah, they're going to be kicking themselves, man. They're going to be absolutely raging. Cohen's flying. He's up ahead 9 seconds. These guys want to work together, which at this point, it could still work, but they had to gain a second a lap, and I don't see that happening. They should have worked together earlier on, and maybe they could have caught up the gap, but now I think it's just going to be a battle between themselves to see who can get the runners-up spot in the race. As we see, Pursoon still has a lot of pace on that medium tyre, but Sebi just needs to keep him behind for about 3 laps more, I'd say. 3, 4, and then he'll be in all clear, and maybe then he can pull away.
What would you say? Would you want to get ahead as Pursoon right now, or would you stay in DRS?
What would be the point of staying in DRS if you're just going to get slower?
Yeah, good point, good point. We go back to Robbo and Frantic. Frantic, his tyres are getting pretty dead. I don't know when you'd worry about maybe getting a puncture, probably. Well, I was going to say lap 23. He's still already on lap 22. Let's say lap 25 just to try and let him go on a bit further, shall we? Okay, Robbo, he will have a significant amount of pace, although he's still on 12-lap-old tyres. On the exit, should have, well, not opportunity here, but he should be able to look at making a move. He'll probably want to make sure he does it on the DRS straight, because otherwise he'll just have an unnecessary threat once again. But yeah, that is an interesting one. That is saying, my wheel just broke. Is that JJ maybe? Saying that in the chat, I think so. Oh, is it Pursoon? I don't know. Pursoon going for a move. There you go. And that is Frantic, I believe, into the pit lane. So 2 switcheroos. Ooh. There's contact as it's very, very marginal. Just about getting out the way there for Sebi. And that is not what we want to see. Unfortunately there, Pursoon just misjudged the space maybe. Or did Sebi maybe understeer? I don't know. Niffo is ahead of Gilly, and they're going to try and get as far at the podium as they can. I didn't quite see that one there.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I think there's a bit of both understeer and not giving enough space. It's a bit of a collective, and that's what caused the incident. But that's unfortunate. Gilly now up into a podium position, keeping it clean, as he usually does. He just needs to keep to himself, not make too many risky moves. And Gilly making his way up the order now, and at P3, he's got Niffle to hopefully for himself to home along. And I was looking at Frantic's tyres just before he made that pit stop. They had, sorry if this sounds disgusting, but skid marks on them. They were absolutely disgusting. So yeah. No wonder he was struggling so much.
For sure, for sure. Now, Gilly, he's just about held on to DRS range here on Niffle, I believe. Go across the line, just to double check. And we do, yeah. Does have that DRS, so he will be able to hold on for a bit. And that will be a little bit frustrating for Pursoon, because now he'll catch up. So if you do end up getting yourself a track limit penalty, then you're going to be in trouble. And I'll tell you what, Gilly's won this race in the past. Due to everybody else just getting so many time penalties. The late safety car came out, but Gilly was the only one who didn't have a time penalty. So he's definitely there when it counts. At the moment, doesn't look like we're going to get a late safety car. And even if we did have a safety car, it wouldn't be out for too long. And another point, even if we did have a safety car, Cohen is absolutely rapid right now. So yeah, it's I'm not going to jinx anything. Nifo sits in P3. They're almost within DRS range, and they're going to want to try and make a safe move, as safe as possible, of course. After a very, very crazy race. I think all the higher tier drivers have had some pretty mental races so far. Even more crazy than yesterday, arguably, or eventful, I should say. And yeah, he's going to look for a move on Pursoon. Just got a few corners to go through, and then he might have a look at going for it. DRS is available. Does he have the energy to deploy? And will Pursoon fight it? Doesn't look like he is going to fight it.
Nah, you think smartly of it. And I thought, of course, as we said before, higher tier driver, Pursoon is going to back off, just get to the DRS, and for his sake, he's going to try and pull away from Gilly, because Gilly is there. It doesn't seem like it from beforehand, but now that everything's also cleared up, he's only 2.5 seconds behind Pursoon. So, can he catch? Yeah, probably. But Niffle needs to, do a little bit of the boosting and get away, because he's only 6/10 ahead. He needs to gain a couple more if Gilly wants to have a chance, because that DRS will help you quite a lot. And of course, getting told along by a higher tier driver. I mean, Aaron, I want to hear your verdict on it. Sorry.
Yeah, you can relax a little bit. Yeah, you might have dirty air, which could be a bit of a problem, but you can save a lot of energy, and then later on you can push a bit, so it will be a benefit. And look at the time gain that Nifo has on Cohen. Cohen doesn't need to risk anything. He's got such a big gap. He can just cruise to the end, but still, regardless, that is absolutely incredible. And Pursoon isn't going to even get DRS. They make a slight mistake. Yeah, not too much ERS to use themselves. And Gilly, although he's not going to be anywhere near to get DRS himself, he'll be able to try and minimise that gap just to keep that pressure on. So pretty crazy stuff there. Nifo is on an absolute run. It's a very big gap, so I don't think he'd be going for the win right away. Haisha retires from the session in the pit lane, so that is unfortunately so close to the end of the race, him out of this one. That does promote Yordi, who is another higher tier driver at least. Everybody else behind would have been promoted anyway because they are our current tier drivers. So yeah, that was JJ unfortunately having their reliability issues with their wheel. So even more bad luck strikes again for the Williams driver. The other Williams driver is currently leading this race, so they can still score some good points. But yeah, such good pace for JJ in recent races, and it's just not been complemented with good luck.
Yeah, JJ, I mean, he's been doing really well with that low downforce being unique, but he just can't seem to catch a break either. He's one of those drivers who just gets quite unlucky. And I wanted to be a little bit of a nerd here for a minute, right? I want you to go on board to Pursoon and listen to the car. I don't know if the people will be able to hear it, but can you hear that little scratching?
Bottoming out?
Yeah, he's bottoming out at 189, 190. Gilly's bottoming out at 195. So, Gilly, if he can somehow up the pace a lot within these last few laps, catch up to Pursoon, he's got all the chance to get a P2 here. It's going to be against the odds, of course, but we've seen like more insane things happen, haven't we?
For sure. If you look at the gap that we have right now, so 9.4 seconds is the gap between Pursoon and Cohen. So that's the gap between the leader. Cohen does seem to either have lost a bit of pace or they're just relaxing. Pursoon, on the other hand, all that he needs to do is secure this position. He's 9 seconds away. We've got not too long to go, so he doesn't need to risk anything. And with the technical issues that we said earlier on in the stream that he might have, he's doing a very good job. So he can just secure this one at the moment. We've got a big gap. However, Nifo is pretty close, or closing in pretty quickly right now. So that's absolutely unreal how quick Nifo is. He's just on another level. He does have that time penalty, so it might not be possible to get to P1, but he's going to be able to secure that P3. Here we go. Geordie and Larlock. Larlock wants to have a little go maybe at their current teammate for today. They're going to get DRS. We know Larlock's usually pretty good in a straight line. Is he going to be able to deploy energy? Is he going to be able to even get a good exit to challenge? No. He does get DRS, but he's going to be so far back, it will not happen in the end.
Yeah, I've just noticed that Robbo is catching a lot to Sebi in this last few laps, so we may have a few battles on our hand toward the end of the race, just like last time, so they would watch it for that. Sebi having an abundance more battery, however, so if Robbo were to catch it, it would be very difficult to overtake, but I'm not doubting him at all. Good driver, and he's, what is it, P2 or 3 in the championship at the moment? He's doing very well.
Yeah, P2 in the championship, unfortunately losing out to the Surveyor with their streak, but no points for them today does allow him to catch back up. Also, in addition to some extra energy on Sebi's car, he has some extra tyre grip, tyre life, unless Robbo's been very smooth on those tyres. He's going to have an advantage, and with that difference I think you're always going to have an advantage unless you have multiple spins. Now Sebi should have this in the bag unless Robbo can really push for it. He's not got too long to do it, and especially at Imola you only have one real overtaking opportunity to get something done, so he's got to push like hell to actually get anything. He's got a big gap behind him, so he might be able to risk a few things, but nothing too much, because he just wants to secure the points, to be honest. He'll get promoted one position anyway, so that'll be 10 points in the bank if he finishes this race, because Nifo is a higher tier driver.
Yeah, of course, Nifo being a higher tier driver, that allows everyone to jump up a place. At the moment, Pursuit makes a little bit of a mistake into the really tricky section there, and it's not, I mean, my heart kind of dropped there, I can't lie, sorry, I went off topic, but yeah, you know, he just lost his car, so lucky for him, he kept on track, and he just needs to calm himself down. He's got 3.9 to go, so there's no need to worry. Even if he gets a penalty, he doesn't need to be too, like, anxious, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe Bassoon did make a mistake, but Cohen, he is really relaxing at the moment. That's a 7-second gap between himself and Bassoon. I think he's going to try and stay ahead of Nifo. 2.3 seconds is the gap, so he's probably going to make sure he does try and get the win on track. He's only got a lap and a half to make sure that happens, and Nifo is unlikely to get into DRS, I'll say. I say unlikely because there's still a chance he might be able to do it with the pace that he's on. Would lap 17 old tyres be possibly puncture range or not really?
Let me do my tyre expecting. I'd say Cohen's tyres look about 65-70%. That's I know it seems a bit geeky of me to just look at tyres and say they're this percent, but the amount of times you race on tyres and then you can kind of tell the gauge as to like how worn out a tyre is. It's quite extortionate. And speaking of, Nifo's grip is disappearing faster than a certain someone. So yeah, it's concerning for Nifo, because maybe he's more from puncture territory, even having a lap less. He might be pushing so hard to catch up to Cohen that his tyres might have a potential of popping. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix now, as Larlock retires on the penultimate lap, as Nifo goes a bit wide. I don't think that was a puncture, no it wasn't. Just a bit wide from out in the moment. Remember, he's got that penalty, but you know, he might want to just overtake just for the on-track glory. As we always say, the gap is now less than a second, both drivers having minimal ERS. And now Cohen just needs to keep it calm. Nifo, it can be a bit uneasy, especially in these situations, especially when it's on the line, everything, the 1 million jelly beans, as Vettel would say. And now, coming through the last few corners now, he's going to have to do some madness, and that looks like what he's doing at the moment. He's lost the back end a bit, but the gap's now 4 tenths, and he's really good in the chicane. I know it for a fact. Coming into the chicane now, he needs to just nail a good exit. It's looking good for him at the moment. On the exit, he gets a good one. He kind of gets a bit squirmy on the exit, though. And coming into the last few corners now, is he going to look for the absolute diabolical dive bomb on Cohen? No, he's not. Coming out of the final corner now, he makes contact with Cohen. He has to back out. Nearly loses the back end again out the last corner. But Cohen wins the race with a great effort, cruising to a P1. Niffle obviously being a higher tier driver, so he won't count in the standings. Pursuing P2, Gilly rounding off the podium with Sebi on that hard tyre, not making it work out in the end. Robbo behind on those 22 lap old hards, doing very well for the circumstances. During the P5, no P7, sorry, and Frantic rounding off the grid. That was an intense race. I was enjoying that.
Yeah, very, very, very tricky for many drivers. As a long race, to be honest, a couple of safety cars did make it pretty difficult as well. The strategy was all over the place. But it is now over. Frantic will gain that position over Larlick in the end. Larlick, of course, having that DNF. It's only lost them 2 points, but still, it's 2 points that you ideally would like. Driver of the day for Niffa as he makes his way through the field towards the end of this race. Very, very, very eventful for many of the drivers. But Cohen wins the first race of the season. The two Dutchmen won yesterday, won their first race of the season. This time Cohen has got it. Finally, redemption. Cohen wins the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Nifajan in P2, then we got Pursoon, Gilly, Sebi, Robbo, Geordie, Frantic, and Larlick finishing in P9. Then DNFing was Heischler, JJ, This Is Vale, and Ruleton earlier on in this race. We'll skim through the race director just in case if we need to later on. And of course, the pit stops to finish off as well, just in case. And then we'll be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. That was a pretty crazy one. Eventful throughout and intense at the end. Don't make it weird again. Curran, you've won the first race, or your first race of the season, finally, after so many stolen opportunities. You've got it. Are you happy with that performance today?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm very happy because I had a lot of bad luck, of course, and now it finally paid off. I have to tire conserve the last 8 laps, I think, just to be sure I had no puncture like in Japan. But yeah, all fine. I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, made sure the same didn't happen from last time around. But yeah, finally, after all this, you've managed to get it done. A very, very nice chunk of points for the championship, and some crucial championship contenders also not scoring points today. So that's going to help a lot as well. So,
that's very crucial.
Yeah, really, really well done. France is the next circuit. Do you like that one? It will be a sprint race as well.
Last season I won, I think, and I like the track as well. It looks a bit weird with all the colors on the outside, but it's a fine track.
Yeah, as long as you can find your way around it, it can be pretty confusing, but you'll be all right. Really well done today. Finally, it's worked out for you. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Medium tire wear.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Bye.
And we move on to Heischler. That was a tough one. Slowly making your way through the grid. It was looking alright, then a spin, then another spin, and then going into the pit lane to retire. Can you take us through that one?
I had a lot of fun, to be honest, up until I was in P2. In my opinion, I had some great overtakes, even though I had the most shittiest straight line speed of the whole grid. Then I made a mistake in Aqua Minerale, is it called, I think?
I think so.
And I tried to recover it in 5th gear, but yeah, you know, Cody's, they don't like 5th gear as well, so I spun again. And from that point on, I was just driving alone. Robert was too fast. I was expecting more people to be faster than me because I didn't practice. So I didn't have fun from that point on, and I thought, why would I carry on if I don't have fun?
Fair enough. Well, that one's done. France, next circuit. You like that circuit?
No. No, I don't like it. I liked it with line, because then you kind of know where you have to go, but without, I don't really have the flow of it yet.
Fair enough. Well, a little bit of time maybe will help, but thank you very much today. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Love 5th gear.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort.
Thank you.
And we move on to Gilly. This time I haven't forgotten his interview. Hello, Gilly. Really, really good job there today. P3, I think that was, wasn't it? With Nifo as a hired driver?
I won.
Oh, you won? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my bad. Really, really good job today. Very nice points for Ferrari. Are you happy with that one?
Yeah, it was eventful,
Yeah.
but I'm happy with that. Nifo makes good setups.
Yeah. Were you a little bit scared throughout that race at any point? Because it got pretty close.
Yeah, it felt like something was happening every lap, so always scared.
Fair enough. Well, unfortunately, no one had a time penalty for you to really capitalise on. But still, great podium. Really well done, managing to stay out of too much trouble. So yeah, great job. France, next circuit. Do you like it?
No. I think I say that for every track though, except Monza.
I like the optimism. That's brilliant. What is your favourite circuit? When will you finally say that you do like it?
Monza.
Okay. Unfortunately, that's already... Never mind. Alright, thank you very much, Gilly. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Where's my teammate?
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Yordi. Yordi, that was pretty difficult. Higher tier driver at the back of the grid trying to make your way through. It wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't, but I was mostly just going for times. I completely destroyed my tires. All of them were above 60 or 70% at the end.
Ouch.
My rears were 90%. I don't get how they not get punctured, but
Fair enough.
that's how it is.
Yeah, it was tough. Multiple pit stops in the end. Was it at least some practice that you were able to put in?
People loved my front wings, and
Yeah.
they like really liked it to amputate it for some reason. But it's fine. It's not really my race here. I'm a higher tier driver. I'm just here to have some fun. So I don't really care about the result. I try to keep the damage as minimum for other people. At least not distract their race or something.
Yeah.
And I did not have any practice also. So I'm pretty proud about my fastest lap too. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say right
Yeah.
now.
Fair enough. Though it was good data, I guess you could say. Get some laps in. That's what you can take from it. France, do you like that circuit? Do you think you can do well there?
I've had some practice there tomorrow, and I like the track. Only, yeah, going on the throttle is pretty difficult for me there. So, yeah. But that's
Time will
it.
tell. We'll be optimistic. We'll be optimistic. Good luck there. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
What did I say yesterday again? Oh yeah.
I can't actually remember.
Time trial, try hard. Skill issue.
Oh, it might have been, yeah.
And
Thank you
front wing amputated. That's it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Nifojan. Nifo, that was a very, very, very nice attempt to try and get to the P1 position, pushing even so far. You got yourself a time penalty. Are you happy with that result from going into P-wall to P2?
Yeah, I mean, the first part of the race was really nice, got into P1 and by lap 10, and then I was like, yeah, I have to drive it for the rest of the race probably now, so I got a bit bored, and then my eyes started to hurt, so I was blinking through a fast corner, and you know how that was. Ate some concrete, left no crumbs. My front wing was gone as well, going to pit lane, speed. It was a strategy because I thought it was too easy, so I wanted to go again and try on the mediums. It definitely wasn't. It was my mistake. This is dumb, but that's why I don't go in a VC during F1 races, because I'll just lose concentration like that. Yeah, second part of the race was after the safety car result was chaotic, I think. I've had a lot of argy-bargy, been pushed off track a few times. I spotted Robbo. I couldn't do, in my opinion, I couldn't do anything about it. JJ and Robbo were side by side. They were barging, and then I adjusted my speed to it, and then they barged again. And then Robbo was going so slow that my front wing was already touching him. So I'm sorry for that. I tried to avoid it, but I can't really, calculate that they're gonna hit multiple times. So, yeah, that was not nice. And yeah, Ori might have spun on the wheels, but I think it's probably because I hit him. And then from that point on, it was just trying to drive. And then, yeah, I got P2. And then I was like, 9 seconds, 6 or 7 laps. I was like, you know what, let's just push. I got one of my warnings for being pushed off track, by the way, so just ignore the penalty. And then I was just pushing, but if it was an F1 race, I probably would have gone for the move into the second to last turn. But I was like, I can't do going like that. He has that back lock and that. And the last turn I hit him, but that's just because his tires were so destroyed that he just stood still on the apex.
Yeah.
I had a heart attack in the moment, but yeah, it's fine.
Just throw the tap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the results anyway. I had some fun racing, but I think I was more avoiding cars than overtaking them. But it was fun.
Fair enough. More avoiding cars and trying to overtake a wall, but there's not really any space to try and get past it. You just go into it. Sorry, Nifo. France is the next circuit. You love that one. There's no walls close by, so maybe maybe you can keep your front wing this time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm being so rude. You
No,
you did
yeah, it's
honestly
fine.
a great job today. Do you
Yeah.
think you can carry on
No.
this great momentum?
No, I think the walls being a bit farther away is in my favor. I have a tendency of being attracted to concrete after all. But I think I have been quite quick on the European tracks, so I think if we have the same momentum there as well, then it will be fine.
Fair enough. Luckily, most of Formula One is in Europe, so you should be good. But now you've got no excuse if you do bad.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
90-degree steering.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to the final one. Robbo, that was tough. Joining pretty late on, manages to get back into the lobby, but up and down the order in the end, just couldn't get past Sebi. Are you still happy with the result, according to the situation, or not really?
Well, I think, of course, without that incident with JJ and this is Vale, I definitely would have been able to get a higher position. But considering I haven't really done much practice, got a good quali, and with Vale retiring and only one of the Ferraris racing, I think overall in the drivers and constructors, it's really not that bad of a day in the office for me.
Yeah, just securing those points does work
Yeah,
out nicely. France, do you like it there?
Yeah, I like France. I've always liked France, especially on last year's game. It always brings some close racing, so I'm looking forward to it.
Fair enough, fair enough. Hopefully we can see you get a bit of a better result and stay out a bit more trouble. But yeah, that was a tricky race. You managed to recover well and get some good points. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
So, I am vengeance.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thanks, Tigger.
And that has been it. Thank you very much, and I'll pass you over to the delivery man.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you everyone for watching. That was a fun race, wasn't it? A lot of action, and I'm sure there will be more action next time in France. It's very good for close racing, so I hope you join us again on Friday, 8 o'clock for LSI F1, and 8 o'clock on Saturday for the LSI F1.5 Championship. We hope to bring you some good racing once again, and we'll see you later.